What is Vertcoin? Vertcoin is an open source, truly decentralized digital currency that can be sent from peer-to-peer over the internet. There are no intermediaries, no chargebacks, and most importantly, you control your money. Vertcoin is sent and received from a digital wallet on your mobile phone or PC. When you send Vertcoin, the transaction is published to a distributed public ledger, whereby users are incentivized to verify transactions with their computer processing power in return for a Vertcoin reward. Surprisingly, most transaction verification for leading cryptocurrencies, such as Bitcoin, is not done by its users at all. It is handled almost entirely by large data centers called mining farms. These farms use specialized hardware called ASICs, which are primarily owned and operated by large mining companies and ASIC manufacturers. So why does it matter? ASICs centralize power in the hands of a few, allowing them to manipulate transaction fees, force protocol changes, and block others. Vertcoin foresaw the issues ASICs would bring and pledges to keep its mining algorithm ASIC resistant by hard forking if needed. By allowing users to profitably mine coins on home desktop PCs and laptops, Vertcoin stays true to the original vision of cryptocurrency, a financial system owned and run by its users. Visit vertcoin.org to get started.
Alright guys, welcome to this episode of Vertcoin Talk. This is episode 16. So today we are going to be going over the development update for February. As you know, this month we kind of got back to the roots of pure on development now that the hard fork is over with. So just wanted to catch up with everybody and let them know kind of what all we went over or what all we did in February. It wasn't as massive of a month kind of like with January because we didn't have that fork coming up. So now we're kind of getting back to the roots of our development team and the team as a core of just trying to bring out solutions to scaling the Vertcoin blockchain into making it a full-time payment system for all goods and services and such of that nature. So I want to welcome everybody to the webcast here today, or broadcast. So we are broadcasting on YouTube, Twitch, and also on my Twitter through Periscope. So if you want to, you can comment on any of those locations. It'll show up here in the chat. So just wanted to thank everybody for joining once again. So let's get right into it. So the Vertcoin developer update, if you want to follow along, there is a link in the description down below to this document. And, you know, we put this out normally within the first week of every month. So by all means, you know, subscribe to our blog and you'll be able to see every month we put out kind of what we did that previous month. We give you all of our financials as far as what we got as far as donations, what we spent our money on, all of that stuff. So we're trying to be as transparent as possible with the community, because at the end of the day, we are a community-backed project, and without you guys, we don't really exist. Granted, the blockchain keeps going, because without us, it can continue to go, but we do rely on you guys for feedback, for ideas, motivation, all of that stuff. So Want to thank everybody for who is in our Discord right now. Remember, if you ever want to get in touch with any of the developers or any of us, hop over there in the Discord. We're always available. You can reach out directly to us. Unlike a lot of other projects where most of their development team is either very anonymous or they're behind a wall where you can't necessarily talk to them, we try to be as open and forthright and as accessible to the public as possible. And we're always here willing to help. So if you're having a problem with your miner, with your core wallet or anything of that nature, then we'll be we're always open to reach out to help. So getting into this month's update, we did have, and I did want to read this because this is a macabre piece that basically Etang wrote, where he said, we're open another month, or we're open another month, praying to the gods of the crypto to stop the slaughter. Although we don't know his name, we scream for the pain to stop. This could be a dream. Are these altcoin sacrifices not enough? I drift into consciousness as the loan sharks take another finger on my good typing hand. I whisper to myself, whatever, it's just another weak way in crypto. The next day I find it harder to make that final trade that would bring me to the moon and clear my debts. Sadly, the bloody stump slips and it hits the wrong key and the trade falters and I scream, I didn't need that hand anyways. I feel the loss of blood making me delirious, and the sharks will be back for the other hand next week. And I thought that was hysterical, just the macabre sense of crypto market in general. But that was just a little joke that Eric put in there. But you can see that at the very top of the dev update. So hopefully everything will go much better by this time next month, or we might get another installment from Eric as to the current state of the entire crypto market. So we did have a question already in the chat with regards to Litbox. So remember, Litbox is just software that we currently have on the GitHub. It is available already. We already have that built. If you're referring to basically the project as far as developing the boxes and stuff of that nature, that currently is on hold, and we're still trying to figure out if even we want to get into the concept of manufacturing boxes and stuff of that nature. It's not really what we want to do because there's a whole list of support and all kinds of other things that come along with that. So right now, that's not something that we're interested in as a project, but like I said, we'll see what happens down the road. So I know there's other Lightning boxes that are out there for sale, like $200-300 for a box in order to be a Watchtower node on the LN networks. So remember, there's multiple different types of Lightning networks that are developed by a few different other companies and stuff of that nature. So we'll see, what the future holds. But right now, the software in and of itself that works with Lit is currently up on the GitHub. I put that into the chat, so check it out. If you have any questions about it, you can reach out in the Discord. We wrote the software a while ago. I think that was done by Gert, it's there. We just need Lit to continue to be improved as far as the network goes and stuff. So the main thing that I want you guys to take away from this month is we got back to our roots as far as development goes. And Verthash, he developed, or he's working on, it's kind of in a alpha stage, this proof of concept blockchain applications where he's calling assets and stealth transactions. I know you guys really like stealth addresses and stealth transactions and things of that nature, but you can see, and I'll go right here. So if you ever want to know kind of our roadmap, what we've developed or anything of that nature, please go to the Vertcoin GitHub. Here you can see all of these items. There's Litbox right there, where you can look and comment, and you can see everything that's going on with that. But also remember, each one of our developers, they have their own GitHub, where Verthash here is working on a few different things, but he developed the Vertcoin extras. So if you come to that, then this will give you all of the information here, the different releases, but then it will also talk about how, this is a very alpha stage. This project is early in development stage, so please refrain from using this or storing anything of actual value here. But the idea is that you're going to have an open assets implementation on the Vertcoin blockchain, and then also have an implementation of stealth transactions. So those are two big ticket items that he's just started to work on in this last month. You're actually wrote a little thing here in the development update. So it's a blockchain-like of Vertcoin offers a scripted language that allows you to build applications on top of the blockchain. So 2 of those were recently developed for proof of concept. You're talking about assets and then stealth transactions. These are very much in early stages of development, just like we said. So if you want to try some stuff with these, please do so on our test net. That way you're not putting anything that is of absolute value right now at risk, because we have not certified that this is good to go by any stretch of the imagination. This is still early in development. So just talking about a little bit, what open assets is. So the asset layer is an implementation of open assets protocol on top of Vertcoin. And so this allows you to issue assets that can be transferred to others that have the open asset wallet. So issuing and transferring of assets will occur transaction fees on the Vertcoin blockchain. So if you guys want, I wasn't able to get him today because he's traveling back from Paris, but I'd love to get Verthash on for a deep dive discussion into what the open assets protocol is, and to what is kind of the goal for this. So a lot of this kind of stems around supply chain, but also, so if we come over here and we look at the actual item, if you click on open assets, we can actually go here and read all about this. So you can see the Open Assets Protocol is a simple and powerful protocol built on top of the Bitcoin blockchain. So this is some features that are already in Bitcoin that we're kind of adopting onto Vertcoin. So it allows the transfer of user-created assets, and it's an evolving concept, for different coins. But you can come here and look at these different types of things that the assets can do. So here, I'll put this in the chat so you guys can go look yourself. So what this is it just allows you to build assets on top of the blockchain, and you kind of use it as a tracking method, using the blockchain, basically. Like I said, I'm very novice when it comes to what this is. That's why I would love to do kind of a separate Vertcoin talk with Verthash, just to kind of go over the details into what exactly these are and kind of the goals for these things. And all it's doing is it's allowing more features to be implemented on the Vertcoin blockchain. Remember, this again is very alpha stage, but the other thing that was worked into this is the stealth transaction. So it adds a small amount of privacy to a transaction by obfuscating the relationship between received amounts. An outside observer can't relate the 2 transactions sent to the same stealth address because there is atom randomness in the transaction. So more details on stealth addresses can be found here in this article right here. So this just links over to the Bitcoin magazine. So I'll put this in the chat as well. So if you just want to learn a little bit on kind of how stealth addresses work. But I know this is kind of a big thing for some coins where they're all about privacy. But we're trying to implement this back. I know we used to have stealth addresses, and then we got rid of those for a little bit. So we're trying to bring those back in to the Vertcoin ecosphere. But we've bundled these 2 applications into a single project that the working title is Vertcoin Extras. And I know some of the guys on the marketing team, we've already kind of thrown around a few different naming ideas and things of that nature, so that may change, but this is what we're kind of calling it right now. So you can download the latest versions of those on the GitHub now, and you can play with it. But like I said, please read the README, and also only use this on the testnet. We don't want anybody to accidentally lose any sort of coins or anything of value, because right now this is still in alpha stage. So I want to emphasize that completely, that these tools right now, they're available on GitHub, but please use them on the testnet. So, and we're going to see much more from this as we go on throughout the year. But like I said, these items, this real development cycle, got put on hold for the fork, because the fork was paramount in order to get the ASICs off of the network. So we got that squared away. Now we're back into developing not only tools like this, but then the next topic I want to cover here is Verthash. So, we kind of touched on Verthash last time that we had a talk, where this is kind of the next algorithm after Layer 2 Rev 3, which we just forked to just over a month ago now. But Verthash, the goal for Verthash that we have right now in the R&D phase is to eliminate NiceHash as being able to mine our algorithm, which will get rid of that rent to attack method that people have used in order to do 51% attacks on all sorts of different other blockchains. Our implementation of Verthash will eliminate that hopefully in theory. But here, just wanted to do a quick announcement letting you guys know that we are currently in development for the GPU miners for Verthash. So Verthash, as an algorithm, I think it's pretty close to being wrapped up. So we're already into the next stage of development by building the actual miners so that you'll be able to mine on NVIDIA cards and AMD cards. So if you wanted to learn kind of how Verthash works, how it's going to not allow NiceHash to function on our algorithm, then you can read right here. We kind of just rehash what we talked about last month, where Verthash is an inbound outbound algorithm that uses the blockchain data as input to the hashing algorithm. So therefore it requires miners to have all the blockchain data available to them, which is currently about 4 gigabytes of data. By making this mining data mandatory, it becomes harder for auto-profit switching miners like the ones used in NiceHash to be able to function without every single person who is sending hash power to NiceHash also having a full blockchain on their local computer. So this is kind of what we're trying to do, because when you think about NiceHash, the way it works is they are pushing the hash power up to their centralized system, and then they're going to give you back funds in Bitcoin. So you never see the actual coin that you're mining or you're contributing to mining, but they just utilize your hash power in a pool sense remotely. So with this, you have to have that blockchain locally, which will hopefully eliminate the overwhelming majority of NiceHash, because most people who are on NiceHash, they're mining whatever is the most profitable. So they're not there to mine specifically Vertcoin, because if that's the case, they would just bypass NiceHash and use something like CC Miner or the Lara miner for AMD. There's no reason for them to pay those fees in order to go through NiceHash. So this is kind of our method right now in dealing with this. So like I said, we're still in R&D phase. We're still working hard on this, but now we've started to pick up more steam when it comes to Verthash and the development of that. So we have had some people in the community voice concerns over the fact that Verthash development is not being done out in the open necessarily. So comments aren't visible on GitHub and stuff of that nature. So the reason is that it's kind of like this. You're trying to prevent this Leviathan of NiceHash from being able to exploit or allow people to exploit the NiceHash selling of hash power to attack your coin. So we don't necessarily want to give people who want to use things like NiceHash an advantage as far as seeing the information, because it gives them time in order to, okay, here's the problem, now how do I get around it? So the less cards that we show necessarily, the better prepared we are going into this hand of poker necessarily to kind of eliminate that NiceHash threat, because when we did Lara 2 Rev 3, NiceHash had an implementation of that the next day after the fork happened. So they're obviously paying attention to the coin. They're obviously interested in having that as an option to mine. I mean, it allows their business model to flourish. So I can understand that. But with Verthash, we're going to eliminate that ability for them to be able to mine on our algorithm, which will also bring a lot more security to the network as well. So that's another benefit to us growing and expanding and starting to accept merchants who want to use our blockchain in order to facilitate payment. Obviously, security is paramount. So that hopefully that will also bring down confirmations for our exchanges that exchange Vertcoin on those exchanges. Will lower those confirmations from the 600 that Bittrex right now has. Hopefully we'll get that much lower, because we'll remove that threat of somebody being able to 51% attack the network using something like NiceHash. So also the last little tidbit from a development standpoint, so the Vertcoin Foundation, so I know you guys have heard us talk about that now for about 9 months. So we had to completely revamp our filing process with them, and now we're awaiting on the IRS to give us approval. So we have everything done. We're on the very last step, waiting for IRS approval. So we will be a 501c3 here in the United States, which means that if you donate to the Vertcoin Foundation, you will be able to write that off on your taxes, which is a benefit to anybody who lives in the U.S. It sucks if you're outside of the U.S. because you don't get that extra little benefit, but that helps bring legitimacy and a sense of confidence for merchants and people who want to use our blockchain in order to facilitate payment, because you can't just go make a 501c3 without being on the up and up as far as from a legal standpoint. So you have to follow the laws. You have to be completely in line with all of the SEC regulations and things of that nature. So you know, it is a big thing for us. There's only one other 501c3 in the United States that is a cryptocurrency. So there's only one other project that has that. Most foundations that projects have, they're not actual legal entities, or if they are, they're set up in somewhere like Singapore where they don't have the legal restrictions that we do here in the United States. And you know, from my perspective, if it's legal in the United States, most of the time the rest of the world will follow suit when it comes to finances and stuff of that nature. So if we can pass the legal hurdles here, we can pass the legal hurdles anywhere in the world. So that's a big bonus, and I'm hoping by this time next month we can, you know, we will get our approval back from the IRS, and then we can completely say that that process is finished and the Vertcoin Foundation is ready, up and running, and ready to accept donations. So let's move into the marketing section. So you know, we didn't do much marketing when it comes to February. I don't know if any of you guys are in our Discord. You know that I have been traveling for work pretty much the entire month of February. Haven't been home much, so I was only able to do the initial Vertcoin talk. Wasn't able to do much of anything else. So, you know, and as you guys can see here, we've upped our production value when it comes to doing the Vertcoin talk, allowing us to be able to do a lot of functionality as far as switching pre-recorded videos and all this other stuff. So let me know if you like this, if you want to see more of this, if you got any ideas as far as production value goes. Please let me know in the Discord. We have a marketing channel in there that anybody can comment on and stuff of that nature. And normally about 4 days or so, I would say at the latest, the audio version of the show does go up on SoundCloud, Google Podcast, iTunes. Please rank or like, write a review of that on there. That will help us be able to get out to other people. And also, if you are watching us on YouTube or on Periscope or Twitch, please like, share, subscribe. You know, love, you know, the support that you guys are giving the channel, but every time that these are shared or sent to other people, obviously the information gets passed around more, and that's kind of our goal with doing these broadcasts, is we want to get this information out to you guys. One of the other things here with the marketing is, so the Dinex exchange, they will be listing Vertcoin once they go, once they get going and such. So we've already sent over the new logo to them, obviously, because they have the old logo right here. And then also, I don't know if any of you guys got to participate, but CoinGecko did a Vertcoin giveaway to celebrate the fork that we had at the beginning of the month. So unfortunately, if you have not entered already, I guess the giveaway is now over, but you can check out to see if you were a winner. So I'll give you here, this is the link to the Vertcoin giveaway. So go there and check to see if you were one of the lucky winners that got some Vertcoin. But let us know if you kind of like this type of stuff. I know everybody loves a giveaway. Everybody wants, you know, free coins and things of that nature, but obviously there is a cost associated to doing that. Luckily for us, CoinGecko covered the entire cost of doing this giveaway. So we want to thank them, you know, for helping raise awareness for not only their platform, but ours and the fork that we just did. But hopefully we can do some more of that stuff here in the future. So some monthly key performance indicators, holding steady across all the board. You know, we are down 2% in our Discord members. Twitter, we're up 1.1%, which is great, even though, you know, Twitter did a lot of purging of fake accounts, but that didn't hit us as hard because we didn't have as many fake accounts. So Reddit members were kind of holding steady there, and same with Facebook. So remember, follow us on all these other different social media platforms. If you want to see kind of day in and day out communications, Twitter is kind of where we're most active, but get in our Discord. I mean, we're always in there talking and things of that nature. From a development fund, you can see that we had over 1,000 Vertcoin donated to the marketing and advertising fund. We thank you very much for that. We'll definitely use that in order to get the word out more about the upcoming projects. And then the general dev fund, we just had just over 1,400 Vertcoin donated to that this month. So thank you very much. That helps us keep the servers running and to keep the development flowing. Now, granted, we are all volunteers, so we don't really get paid, but we do use those funds in order to host the website, to host a lot of the servers that we have have going, and things of that nature. And also part of that fund is used to help get those GPU miners built, because unfortunately there's a very small number of people who have that ability, who have that talent to be able to build graphic miners, and unfortunately we do have to outsource some of that work in order to be able to get those built. So, and then just like in the description here on YouTube, you can see all the links to all of our stuff here. You know, our Word of the Lord. So this is Yurtjap's own website here, so you can check that out. But you have our official website and all those other things. So that's pretty much the development updates for the month of February. I did want to point out, so one of the things that we wanted to bring up here is one of the movements that we got going on over on our Reddit is the community donation through mining. So everybody knows that, you know, Vertcoin's a volunteer-based project, but here we actually have a initiative. So whenever you are mining, you can donate using P2 Pool or the one-click miner. You can donate to the dev fund, or you can do a fee that goes to a particular address, and then you can put the address for the dev fund in there on your P2 Pool. So this is just a member of the community that's trying to promote being able just to, you know, while you're mining, give just a few % back to the development team so that we can continue to grow the Vertcoin project. So the last thing I wanted to touch on here is this weekend we have the MIT Bitcoin Expo 2019. So unfortunately, I'm not able to go to this. However, we do have a lot of speakers that are going to be there. There isn't going to be any speakers from Vertcoin. So I know James did talk last year at this event. He is a student at MIT, but one of the reasons why James is not talking is because, as we can go down here, we can see the different sponsors. James is actually an Expo content director, so he is part of the Expo team and actually helping to facilitate that. So he has been super busy over the last month. He hasn't been able to get much of anything done when it comes to Vertcoin, and you know, with schoolwork plus preparing for this Expo, he's been rather busy. So they're going to be live streaming this on I think their own YouTube page, and then you know, I might see if I can try to redirect to broadcast that either on here or just put some links out through our social sites so that you can check that out. But they're going to be talking about all kinds of stuff. So basically the next 10 years of blockchain. So you can come here to the MITBitcoinExpo.org and you can see the schedule for that day. So we can talk about, I mean, all kinds of, there's tons of stuff that's going to be talked about. So if you want to kind of learn a little bit more on the future of blockchain technology, please check this out. And if you're in the Massachusetts, MIT, Boston area, by all means, I think there's some tickets still available for this. So get over there and check it out. But let me go over here and let's check the questions that we got going on here. So a few people have asked some questions while we're running this here. So let's see. NiceHash now switched to the old NiceHash legacy miner. Let's see. Green screen would make a huge improvement. So I've thought about doing a green screen. I've also thought about putting some actual like Vertcoin posters and stuff of that nature up behind me. So we'll see. We'll see if that's in the future. I definitely could do it here with the software. So, but let's see. Make sure you're on Discord when the Discord member gives away VTC. Let's see. Can we donate to get you a green screen? Yeah. So I actually had created out of a joke the donate to Canen's family address. Yeah, I personally am not a big fan of having people donate to me, but if you want to donate to the Vertcoin Development Fund, then I will, you know, I'll see about what I can do as far as getting a green screen and things of that nature. But if you really want to donate to me specifically for that, just shoot me a message in the Discord, and I'll shoot you a VTC address, and you can donate to that, and I will use those funds in order to get a green screen here and behind me. Although a lot of people do like the golf clubs and stuff of that nature behind me, but I'm wondering if maybe it would be better just to throw something up on the wall here. So we can get that figured out. Let's see some other things here. Hold on. I want to see. I donate all the time. I want to donate to help with his green screen. I would suggest sending him a DM. Yeah. My time is limited. I do not do Discord. Okay. I'll tell you what. I'll Derek. I'll put the link right here. So Copy address. So if you want to donate to the green screen, you can donate to that address right there, and then I will work on purchasing a green screen and getting some lights up behind me so that it'll look a little bit cleaner. So Derek, let me know if that works for you. Let's see. Any other questions? Let me do this. I'm gonna break for just 1 second here. I'm gonna show a video that we've done here in the past. But I'm going to break here real quick. I'll be back in about 2 minutes. So if you guys have some questions, throw them up here in the chat, and then I'll answer them as soon as I get back. All right, stand by.
Vertcoin is a currency similar to Bitcoin or Litecoin, with the major differentiating factor being that it is committed to being an ASIC-resistant coin, which means it can only be mined by GPUs. So that means that anybody from, a kid sitting in his dorm room in New York or somebody sitting in China in their home can be mining the coin. So it can't be mined by really expensive ASIC machines. When we talk about the vision of Satoshi Nakamoto being decentralized currency, where Bitcoin and Litecoin and some of these other coins kind of fail to do that is with these consolidated ASIC farms that are owned by just a handful of people that are processing all of the transactions. So with Vertcoin, it decentralizes the mining and the processing power of that blockchain to just the everyman. Anybody who feels like they want to get involved in mining can get involved and invest in mining equipment to mine Vertcoin, and they can rest assured that even if Vertcoin becomes the most popular cryptocurrency in the world, there will never be ASICs developed for it that only fat cats can afford to run. Another thing that is kind of part of the ecosystem of Bitcoin and Litecoin and Vertcoin, which is that those three coins are all SegWit enabled, which is a scalability solution for those blockchains. So Vertcoin is one of the first, if not the first, to enable SegWit, and it pretty much gives them the ability to be on the Lightning Network, which allows for something called atomic swaps. Vertcoin, in essence, can work as a payment mechanism for Bitcoin, for example, or you can seamlessly swap within the wallet using this Lightning Network technology, which creates a scalability solution not only for Vertcoin, but for Bitcoin and Litecoin as well. The social media venues are Twitter just at Vertcoin, Reddit r/Vertcoin, and the Discord. And you can pretty much find the links to all three of them right on the website, vertcoin.org, and you'll find a lot of great other information.
All right, guys, welcome back. While we were doing that, we were getting some questions here. Some people had also asked about the hash rate with Vertcoin. So here you can see right now current hash rate is just over 1 terahash. So way down from the almost 5 terahash where we were just before the fork. So that has steadily increased, but I'm also wondering, we have the Constantinople fork with Ethereum. They're also looking to go to a proof of stake. So there might be some people who are in the GPU mining space that's looking for a home. And I feel like Vertcoin will be a great place for those people to land their GPUs for mining, because we're never going to go to proof of stake. We're never going to go to ASICs. We want to stay with general hardware that anybody can mine from anywhere. So let's see here. Let's go over some other questions that we have here. Is an update to P2 pool on track so it works with Verthash? Yeah, so when we release anything, when it comes to algorithm updates and stuff of that nature, every aspect of our software pool, so P2 pool, the wallets, the miners, all of that stuff is up to date and ready to go whenever we go through the process of changing to a new algorithm. So as you guys saw about a month ago, we did that changeover from Layer 2 Rev 2 to Layer 2 Rev 3, and it was a very seamless process. We didn't have people, losing stuff unless you didn't update your stuff, your wallets and things of that nature. Then if you try to send coins, you would be on the wrong chain. But from a software standpoint, if you updated everything prior to the fork, you're good to go. You're gravy. We didn't have to stop the fork, a few days in advance because a huge bug was found or anything of that nature. We took our time. We made sure that everything was done right, and we plan to do that for Verthash moving forward. So VTC Foundation kind of touched on that a little bit earlier, Topaz. So that right now we are currently waiting for IRS approval here in the United States. We are done with everything. Everything has been filed. The board, we've had our first board meeting, so we had to do that as part of the process. Now we are waiting for the IRS to approve the foundation, and then we will be a tax-exempt entity inside of the United States where we can accept donations, and you can, if you're in the U.S., you can write those off on your taxes. So one of the downsides, and we're still talking with accountants around this, is one of the downsides once you become a 501c3, we can take small. So if you go to a fundraiser for a 501c3, they'll have a box out front. You can put $5 in. That's fine, great. But when it comes to large donations and stuff of that nature, they need to be tracked for tax purposes, because most of the times if somebody's giving you $1,000, they're going to put that on their taxes that they donated $1,000 to a tax-exempt organization, and they're going to want to write that off for their tax burden. So there's a little bit more tracking and stuff of that nature that comes into play, but that's kind of where we are with the Vertcoin Foundation. I'm hoping everything goes right, because the IRS can still tell us to go kick rocks. I mean, because at the end of the day, they get final approval. But if everything goes right this time next month, we should be all squared away with the 501c3. So what is the current status of hash rate and difficulty on the network? So there you can see the hash rate. And if you want to, you can just go to bitinfocharts.com and then look at the Vertcoin. There's the hash rate. And then if we look at the difficulty, we can see that difficulty is still way down from where it was. So it's holding right now at about 35K. So, still looking good here from a mining perspective. So, thank you very much for the 43 Vert. By all means, I'll get a green screen in here and get that squared away. But, I'd rather you guys donate to the dev fund, because while a green screen is not super expensive, it's not necessarily vital to running the project on a day in and day out basis, where we got to keep these servers running. We got to update the website. We got to update these miners and things of that nature. So I want to make sure that if you want to donate to me to get a green screen, by all means, thank you very much. But I do want to prioritize, the majority of your donations, please go to the project, just so we can keep that moving forward. Let's see here. So, the 3G. Yep. So that's that address, Derek, is the one that I've labeled in my wallet as, my family. So anything that goes to that, I will use towards getting the green screen. So any plans to launch Vertcoin Foundation? Any estimates? Kind of touched on that just a little bit just now. And sorry, I'm a little bit behind. I'm trying to go through these comments one at a time here. Yep, so thank FastTask for responding to that. For the 5th to 11th. Once you get a response from them, what are the further steps? So once you get a response from the IRS, we're pretty much squared away. We're going to do our next board meeting, so it'll be the first official board meeting with full-on 501c3 status. At that point, we're going to initiate getting a bank account set up for the foundation, which, as you can imagine, getting a bank account set up for a cryptocurrency foundation is going to be interesting. It shouldn't be too hard, though. I mean, because with us being recognized by the IRS, the banks have but so much leg to stand on to deny us a bank account, because that could be a little bit of a legal problem on their end. But so we have to get a bank account so that we can, because we have to keep logs, we have to keep books of our finances, what's coming in, what's going out, what things are being spent on, just as we do now with you guys. We're very open and transparent about that. We have to do the exact same thing when it comes to the foundation. So, and once again, all foundation members and board members are volunteer. There's no paid board members or anything of that nature. So we're keeping the same type of philosophy when it comes to the foundation. This just gives us a legal entity that can hold any sort of patents, trademarks, and things of that nature. And we're not worried about, if a developer, because right now a lot of the assets are either stored under James or some of the other developers, I guess, legal entity, them as people. We want to kind of transition that over to an actual organization. So let's see. So green screen, very important for the decentralization. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of my point behind it is, while the green screen is great, I'm doing a lot more production value from a software standpoint. It's not everything. So I prioritize getting funds in order to help further the project over the green screen. But I understand, a lot of people, a lot of YouTubers, they use it in order to get animated graphics and stuff like that behind them, and I know how to do all that stuff. So that might be something that I'll do here in the future. So any other questions before we get out of here? I know we've been on now for about 40 minutes. So if you don't have any other questions, I will let you know that one of the other tasks that we're working on right now, I don't have anything to show you guys just yet, but please stay tuned. We are looking to revamp the one-click miner so that it is legitimately one click. So you have a window that opens up, you put the address that you want to mine to, and you press a button and you start mining Vertcoin. So that it is literally as close to one click as you can get. And there's some ideas floating around now of how we can kind of incorporate all of our software packages, the wallet, the miners, all that stuff into one application that you download, and it makes it as easy as possible for someone to be able to, one, accept Vertcoin, transact Vertcoin, and then also mine Vertcoin, because that's kind of our goal here. We want everybody to be able to contribute to the consensus of the project, contribute to the consensus of the blockchain, and to be able to use the Vertcoin that they mine on their computer at home. We want them to be able to use that in the real world, because at the end of the day, if you mine and it just sits there, it's like, okay, well, that's great, but we want you to be able to use it. We want you to be able to go down to your local store, your local, for me, I'm pushing hard for here my local golf courses to be able to accept this, because I'm mining Vertcoin whenever I'm not using my computer here. When I want to go play golf, I want to be able to pay for it with the Vertcoin that I've mined. So yeah, that's kind of our road map, I guess you could say, over the next few months. Now, I will let you guys know that next month Vertcoin Talk will not be happening right as soon as the developer update goes out, because I will be in a Caribbean island. I'm taking my wife on our 5th wedding anniversary, so we are going to be at a resort in the Caribbean. So it may be mid-April by the time we actually do a Vertcoin Talk. I know I joked with some of the guys that depending on Wi-Fi signal, I might try and do a broadcast from the beach, but I'm spending a lot of money on this vacation, so I probably will be hammered and won't be in the position to be able to talk Vertcoin and such. But if we don't have any other questions for today, I will let you guys go. Thank you very much for tuning in to this episode of Vertcoin Talk. This is episode 16, the Vertcoin development update for February 2019. And we will catch you guys in the next one. Have a good one.
Vertcoin is a digital currency that can be sent between people over the internet without having to rely on any payment processor. Compared to other alternative technologies, Vertcoin has a number of advantages. Like Bitcoin and Litecoin, Vertcoin isn't controlled by large banks or institutions. Vertcoin is free from control of big mining hardware manufacturers and can be mined by anybody profitably. One of Vertcoin's biggest strengths is its active community of developers and members working as volunteers, all growing entirely off of donations. With Vertcoin, you can truly be your own bank. Let's take a look at some of the great features Vertcoin has to offer. Decentralized mining. Mining should be fair and easy, which is what Vertcoin delivers by not allowing ASICs on the network. This ensures long-term security and fair distribution of the currency. Vertcoin's one-click miner. Building a strong network requires many miners. So Vertcoin made mining easy with their one-click miner. Now anyone can mine and earn Vertcoin fairly and easily at the single click of a button. Active development team. Vertcoin developers are constantly working towards advancements in blockchain technology. And building strong relationships with other blockchain developers helps us learn and share information for better outcomes. Segregated witness. SegWit allows Vertcoin to increase its block sizes and add second-layer solutions for further improvements, such as the Lightning Network. Lightning Network. The Lightning Network offers scalable, instant blockchain transactions, allowing for massive increases in network capacity and an instant point of sale for merchant adoption. Atomic cross-chain swaps. A decentralized way of exchanging your Vertcoin with another coin that exists on a different blockchain. One of the benefits to Vertcoin is that the software is completely open source and anybody can review the code. Vertcoin is changing the financial system, the same way the internet changed publishing. Vertcoin will allow everyone access to the global market, incentivizing great ideas to flourish. Let's take a look at some examples of how Vertcoin is already used today. You can purchase video games, gifts, books, servers, and even a nice pair of socks. Vertcoin is listed on a number of exchanges where you can exchange those coins for dollars, euros, and more. Vertcoin's low transaction fees and quick payments allow any small business to offer multiple payment options. Unlike Visa and MasterCard, there isn't any cost to get set up to accept Vertcoin as a business. There are no chargebacks, and there's just a very small transaction fee that equates to about 1 cent. You get additional business from the crypto economy by accepting cryptocurrencies. Does this look like something you would be interested in? Do you want to know where to buy and how to mine your first Vertcoin? Go to vertcoin.org today.